Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam Maharaj.
Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Maharaj.
Hari Bo. Hare Krishna Maharaj, Hare Krishna Madevi.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam Prabhu.
Happy to see you.
I am also happy to see you.
Tony Pradhan is here.
You are fine, Maharaj.
Yes, Prabhu, yes, fine, fine.
Oh, very good.
Tony, Hare Krishna, Tony, how are you?
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Did you know he's here? Where did he go? He went to Ohio? Hmm?
Did you talk me?
Yes, we can hear. So you are having some discussion with the devotees. Anandaji, huh?
This web Caracol song, Caracol song word. In the next word, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
We also had some discussion
Yes.
this week with Janardhan and Ashram Maharaj.
I think this person or sent for other guru, sent for discussion with Shanta Maharaj, with me. No, I don't know.
Hey, Mama. Yeah. They don't have a mask mandate anymore. You know? That makes you very nervous.
Today in YouTube, other people discussion in with Shanta Maharaj in YouTube video de Shanta Maharaj. Un Didi, the name is Paramabhakti Didi.
Okay. Yes.
Today new discussion.
Good. Yes. Discussion is needed, I think. They need to talk.
I think she person live in Holland.
Oh.
Yes. And Sebastian, I think is Mexico.
Okay. We have to understand why is this audio is not working properly. I'm hearing an echo. Because of your connection.
Mr. Maharaj. Ya llegó.
Why is it echoing?
Oh, because Tony.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Prabhu,
Dandavat
Tony.
Didi.
Dandavat.
Dhanyavad Kanapedini Haribo.
Dandavat Maharaj. Dandavat devotees. Good to see you, everyone.
Dandavat. Dandavat Maharaj.
Dandavat.
Jai. Shanta Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Tony has two cameras, it looks like. Huh?
Yes, he has two screens. One he muted, so no
Oh,
echo.
I see. Okay.
Maharaj, this with fighting in Facebook, fighting in YouTube.
Playing
Maya,
Kartal and Murdunga. Playing Kartal and Murdunga.
yeah. Again, Maya again in the Facebook, YouTube attack to you. Very bad.
This has been a fighting week. Hmm?
Maharaj dice, nuestras armas son los cártalos y mirdán. Porque eso lo decía Srila de nuestra, o Shantara Mahaprabhu. Nuestras armas son cártalos y mirdán.
How are you, Maharaj?
I'm okay, Maharaj, thank you.
Uma Didi, Dandavat. How are you doing? Kanupriya Didi, Dandavat.
Dandavat Pranam Maharaj. Fine, Maharaj, by your grace and Guru.
Dandavat Maharaj. Good to see you. You keeping well, Maharaj? Is
Yes,
everything
yes,
okay?
yes. We are trying our best to take care. So you are all celebrating Acharya Maharaj disappearance festival on Friday.
Yes, yes, Maharaj, next Friday.
So there will be a, what is that, marijuana in the background?
Flower. Krishna Kesava has a flower.
You've seen it. So funny. You look like a mini person. They look like giant flowers.
Yes. I got in the wrong way of a laser beam and now I'm 1 inch tall.
Live transcription. So will there be a Zoom meeting on Acharya Maharaj's appearance day that everyone can attend?
Disappearance day.
Disappearance?
We can have Maharaj on Friday evening. Maybe Kanupriya can prepare a flyer for that.
Everyone can participate.
Can you do that, Kanupriya Devi?
Yes, Maharaj. Which time? I think, yeah, which time?
And Krishna Kesava Prabhu, do you know that our Zoom is still, I think 1 year is passed now. The service is still valid for more than 45 minutes?
For Zoom, Maharaj?
Yes, yes, Zoom.
Yeah, it's a premium account, so it gets paid for.
The live Facebook is YouTube is working now for you
To stream this meeting live on YouTube?
no, through Zoom. The live is working.
Should be.
Just check. If not that, I think the service is finished.
I don't know, Maharaj, you want to try to stream live on YouTube?
No, not now. Later on you can try.
This is already Zoom, no? This is where.
Yeah.
This is also Zoom, Maharaj.
Zoom, but you know, it is like 45 minutes restricted.
No, we go
It may-
for 2 or 3 hours sometimes.
Yeah, but I'm not sure whether it will go if that service is expired.
What?
We pay every month.
Every
Uma
month?
Devi is donating
Every month.
Yes,
every month.
Maharaj, every month, 6th May, every month is going
Yes.
money. Yeah.
We have, by the
Okay,
grace
okay.
of Uma Devi, we're able to meet here every day, every time.
Mhm.
And it's her grace.
So I think you just check if the service is there because some notice came when I was trying, okay? Krishna Kesha Prabhu after the meeting. If everything is okay.
Okay.
You can have it on this channel, no?
He's saying the message came from this channel. Something came from the channel.
When I was trying, it shows me a message. So that's why I thought that maybe
Oh,
it is being yearly subscription is in a time is over.
I see. No, we're still using.
Yeah, the subscription isn't annual. You know,
I know,
normally
yeah.
annual prescription, you only pay once every 12 months. We're paying
Yes,
once
yes.
every month.
Yeah, okay. So I think it should be okay. Just maybe some mistake. That message was some mistake.
Oh.
Pradhanji, how are you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
Where are you now? In Ohio?
I'm in New Jersey today.
Oh, you're in New Jersey.
Oh, for how long?
Good question. I don't know myself.
Well, are you here for another 48 hours?
Why? Oh, you need something.
No need, but it'd be nice to see you at the YMCA tomorrow.
Okay, I'll be there.
Yeah.
I was watching you guys. You guys did not get much participant. You and your mother. I'm so sorry.
Well, we'll be outside tomorrow.
Today would have been. I
What
could
time
not get
am I?
time to reach out to you. Today would have been a better day because Princeton is having a Porch Fest. So you would have
That's
got a
good.
lot of Porch Fest today in Princeton. So you would have got a lot of people interested, but I just couldn't get a chance to let you know. But anyway, it's late.
Did you contact Jamie?
It's Porch Fest, meaning the art center has
I didn't
everybody
send
plays
email.
music on the porch. So.
That's all.
I didn't think about it. He never responded from last week. Sent him that message.
Tomorrow is outdoors in Princeton, YMCA, right?
Yes,
Yeah, because the weather is nice.
weather is very nice.
Yeah.
Maharaj? Shanta Maharaj, would you like to conduct the kirtan?
By your order, Maharaj. Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Guru Dev.
Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Guru Dev. Guru Dev.
Bhaja Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu
Nityananda,
Nityananda,
Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda,
Nityananda,
Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Sri
Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Sri Krishna
Nityananda,
Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Rama
Ram,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Ram Raghav, Ram Raghav Raksamam.
Ram
Rama Raghava
Raghava, Ram Raghava
Krishna
Rakshak.
ke sab, Krishna ke sab pahi mam.
Krishna Keshava,
Krishna
Krishna
Kesava,
Keshava,
Krishna
Krishna
Kesava, Krishna
Keshava.
Kesava,
Ram
Paima.
Raghav, Ram Raghav Raksamam.
Rama
Raghava,
Rama
Raghava,
Raghava
Rama
Rama
Raghava,
Raghava
Rama
Rakshama
Raghava,
Krishna ke
Rakshama.
sab, Krishna ke sab, Krishna ke sab pahi mam.
Krishna Kesava, Krishna
Krishna Kesava
Kesava,
Krishna Kesava
Paima.
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hai.
Krishna,
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 Krishna, Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama 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 He
Rama,
Rama,
Rama, Rama, Rama,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama
Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare
Rama,
Ram, Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare
Rama,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Govinda
Hare.
Jaya Gopal Jai Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jai
Govinda Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya Radha
Govinda
Ramana Hare
Jaya Gopal
Govinda Jaya
Jai
Jaya
Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jai
Govinda
Govinda
Jaya Jaya,
Jaya
Gopal
Jaya
Jaya Jaya,
Gopala
Radha
Jaya Jaya
Hari
Radha Ramana
Govinda.
Hari Govinda Jaya
Nitai
Jaya
Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Jaya Nitai Gaurango
Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango Jaya Nitai Gaurango
Nitai Gaurango Nitai Gaurango
Nitai, 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 Nitai,
Nitai
Jaya
Gaurango
Satchinandana Jaya Satchinandana Gaurari
Jai
Jaya
Satchidananda,
Satchinandana, Jaya
Jai
Satchinandana, Jaya
Satchidananda,
Satchinandana,
Kali
Gaura
Yuga
Hari.
Pavana Gaurari Patita Pavana Gaurari
Kali Prabhavana,
Pavana
Gaurari,
Gaura Hari,
Kali Prabhavana,
Sita
Gaurari,
Pavana
Gaura
Gaura Hari.
Gaura 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 Gaurari
Gaura, Gaura,
Gaura,
Gaura,
Gaura,
Gaura,
Gaura, Gaura,
Gaura,
Gaura, Gaura,
Jaya
Gaura
Guru
Hari.
Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva
Guru
Deva,
Deva, Guru
Guru
Deva, Jaya
Deva,
Guru.
Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Charidev, Srila Shanta Maharaja ki Jai. Has there something happened with the video?
He's still going. He's still chanting.
Hmm?
He's still chanting.
Oh, yeah.
Gaura Hari.
Nitai Gaurari Bol Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Think I go to Hari Bol,
Hari
Hari
Bol,
Bol,
Hari
Hari Bol,
Bol,
Think
Hari
I go
Bol,
to Hari
Jai
Bol.
Gaura Hari Bol.
Premanande, Hari Bol.
Hari 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 Bol.
Hari Bol.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Charidev, Srila Shanta Maharaja ki jai. Jai Giri Govardhana ki jai. Jai Samaveda Bhaktavinda ki jai. Jai all glory to the worldwide devotees ki jai. Jai Giri Govardhana ki jai. Jai Go Premanandi Hari Hari.
Hari Bol.
Hari
Jai
Bol.
Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivraj Guru Srila Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaja ki jai.
So we go to Vandana prayers.
Vandana.
Page
Vandana.
38. The Kirtan, Bhakti Kirtan guide.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, be back now. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Guru
Adi Guru Vaishnavansha Parijana Saitam Shri Chaitanya Devam Krishna
Om Magana Jai Shri Guru Goeva Bista Devam Shri Siddhanta Vande Shri Siddhanta Namo Gurudevaya So one day, Sri Gora Rajas Vanchakalpa Patita Namo Jayatam Sri Madhava Jai Sri Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Charadev, Srila Santa Maharaja ki Jai. Jai Sri Hari Ananda Prabhu ki Jai. Paraman
Bhagavati, Anindita, Priyadarshini, Priyata.
Paramatmani.
No, Priyadarshini, Priyatma.
Oh, Priyatma, Priyadarshini, Bhagavati, and Ananditya ki Jai, Gurudev ki Jai, Kesava ki Jai, Katapriya Devi ki Jai, Pradhanji ki Jai, Shayo Sripad, Paramahamsa, Parivraj Gacharya Satana Sapashishman, Bhakti, Srila Bhakti Niskam Santa Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai Vishnupad, Paramahansa Parivar Jagati Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Maharaj ki
Jai.
Sankirtan Yagya ki Jai. Sadhu-Sanga ki Jai. Maharaj, which bhajan would you like to sing?
The disappearance day of Abhiram Thakur.
Oh, yes.
Janilo Premodhana, you can sing.
Okay. That's it.
Share, Krishna Keshav Prabhu.
Which page, Maharaj?
Oh, page number, let me see, this small
I
book
think
or big one?
157, 153 maybe.
153, page 153
156 in the small book.
in the small book.
PDF.
Yes.
Oh, yes, the page number is 153.
153 at the Pocket Kirtan Guide.
153.
153.
Ujú.
Tenemos. Tenemos.
Jayanilo Premodhana Puruna Prochu. Eno Prabhu Kotha Gela Chacho Thakur. Yanila Premodhana Puruna Prochu. Kahamara Swarup Rupa Kaha Sanatan. Kahada Sarabhu Natho Patita Pavan. Amor Bhatta Juga Kaha Kavira. Eko kale kotha gela gora noto ra. Asane kutibo mata onole posibo. Gaurango gunero nidhi kotha gele pabo. Sab sangiro sange je koi lobila. Se sang na paiya kande narottamo Yanila Premo Prochu. Ena Prabhu Kotha Gela Aviram Thakur.
Prabhu Kota Ela Viram Thakur.
Dayal Vaishnav Thakur, Dayal Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Dayal Vaishnav Thakur.
Jaya
Vaishnava
Dayal Vaishnav Thakur, Dayal Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Dayal Vaishnav Thakur.
Jaya Bye. Abhiram Thakur ki. And then page 29. Ventinova. Is that right?
Yes,
Ah,
29.
yes.
Cántala.
Gurudeva kirpa bindu dija koroeda setrina pesati divina.
Gurudeva kirpa bindu dija koroeda setrina pesati divina.
Sakala sahane bolo dija koroni jamane sirpahina.
Sakala sahane baladija koro nijamane spirhahina.
Sakale samana korite sakati deonakta yakta yakta.
Sakale samana korite deonakta yakta yakta.
Sabe tu baibo harinama suke aparada kobeata.
Sabe tu baibo harinama suke aparada kobeata.
Sabe geno kirpa la villa ellana sita ya benata.
Sabe no kirpa lavijana kitaya
Sati budina miati dina koromore atmasata.
Sati Puri Amiyati Paramore
Yoga
Yogata vichare kichunai pai tomara karuna sara.
Yoga vichare kichunai pai tumara karuna sara.
Karuna hoile tabiya kandiya prananara kiwara.
Karuna
Pranamo Deva.
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva,
Jaya
Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva.
Jai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo,
Hari
Haribo, Jai Gurudev.
Try.
Tony, Prabhu, are you still there? Tony Pradhan? Hare Krishna? No, I lost connection. Okay, then I think we will go directly to Prapanna Jivanamrita reading. We have some time. We are on page 139, text 31. Jayo Vishnupad, Paramahamsa Parivraja Kachaya, Astatata Sata Sri Sripad, Bhakti Rakshak Srila Goswami Maharaja Ki Jai.
Jai.
Ibo.
Hare Krishna.
Sri Prapanna Jivanamrita Ki Jai.
Jai.
All right, page 139, text 31. Labda Shri Krishna Prem, Parakashtasya, Pratikshana Varamana, Tad Ashvadan Lolupataya, Tad Apraptitvat Pratiti, Tattara Shri Krishna Premnastu, Sarvocha So Bhagyakara, Parma Sudurlabha, Paramartavan Cha Suchitam. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as said in the Sikshastakam, says, Na prema gandosti darapi me haro. Kandami saubhagya baram prakashitam. Vangsi valas anana lokanam vina vibharmi yat prana patanga kanvrita. My favorite word here, patanga. You know what patanga means? Patanga.
Patal.
Huh? Patanga. Patangaka. Maharaj? You know what patangaka?
Tanga means something like, insect.
Yes. Insect. Patanga.
Kit Patanga, we call it Kit Patanga.
Sri Bhagavata Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying this. So Sridhar Maharaj gives this little a summary of the verse. A person who has attained to the acme of love for Krishna appears as one bereft of that love, due to the moment by moment growing insatiable desire to taste it. This indicates love for Krishna to be the best bestower of the supreme fortune and the most rarely attained goal of life. Mahaprabhu said, "Oh, my companion, I do not have the slightest scent of love for Krishna, and yet I cry. This is only for the purpose of exhibiting my great fortune. Without seeing the lovely face of Krishna playing his flute, I worthlessly pass my days like an insignificant insect."
Like Indra Gopal.
Español.
Una persona que ha alcanzado la cima del amor por Krishna se presenta como alguien que ha sido privada de ese amor, pues crece a cada instante su deseo insaciable por disfrutarlo. Eso indica que el amor por Krishna es el otorgador de la fortuna suprema y la meta más valiosa por alcanzar en la vida. Oh, compañero mío, no poseo más el leve indicio de amor por Krishna, y sin embargo lloro con el único propósito de exhibir mi gran fortuna, sin poder ver el encantador rostro de Krishna tocando su flauta. Yo paso mis días en vano como un insignificante insecto. El Señor Supremo Sri Chaitanya Chandra. Ay.
So if Mahaprabhu is saying this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is saying this. I don't even have a scent. No scent means, the Spanish, the smell. I don't even have a smell. What to speak of seeing or touching or whatever, even smell. Don't have any connection. This is a feeling of separation like this. And that I am as insignificant as an insect. Not even a human being. Not even thinking I'm worthy to be called a human being. Like a fly on the wall, a mosquito.
Maharaj,
Yes.
this mood, if somebody has, then how can that person can preach?
With great humility. You can only preach with great humility. Somehow Mahaprabhu was able to preach, even though he was feeling like this. Well, in one part of his life at least. What's that, Maharaj?
Yes, Maharaj, that's what I was telling you actually. So means he cannot be actively, a correcting individual, because he cannot, when he is thinking like that, then mostly actually his action, if somebody has intelligence, can only, find that. Otherwise, like a teacher, actively teaching student is difficult in that way. Because Mahaprabhu will not recognize devotees when he was feeling this type of thing.
Yeah.
He was so absorbed.
Maharaj,
Yes.
uh, uh, I sent a little comment about this point. What's at the Keshava Prabhu?
Maharaj, but there are people who, like mosquitoes and prostitutes, who bite here and there and do not define themselves in their life. One must make decisions and dedicate oneself to one's spiritual master and not imitate the mosquitoes that go from person to person. One day, one heavy hand will fall on their body and crush them and they will die.
Very nice. And then not imitate, huh? These high, this high feelings of separation. Who can imitate that? We preach not for others' benefit, but for our own benefit. Huh? That we may learn, that we may keep ourselves involved, engaged in some type of kirtanam. Somebody has to do it. I remember Srila Maharaj. When I read these verses, I think of Sridhara Maharaj, how humble he was, not going out anywhere, sitting in his cabin, and very, very humble mood. He had written some commentary on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. When I was there was this whole book, and it had never been published. And so when I was there, they had started putting that together, printing it in the printing press, and we were in Calcutta collecting money so that it could be printed. And I was thinking, Maharaj has written done such beautiful work there, devotional work. All of his books, the Bhagavad Gita, everything, they were not eagerly publicized. Of course, Guru Sridhar Maharaj's Gita was printed by Prabhupada's sister. What was her name? Pachima? What is her name? Pishima. It was printed by Pishima. But otherwise, nobody really printed it. He wasn't pushing. His books weren't being pushed by him very much. Only when the devotees came, then they became enthusiastic to spread. And by that time, he was very old. Like this, he was always what he himself termed himself as back pushing, a back pushing person, never trying to push himself in front. Anyhow, his nature was very much like that. The whole demeanor, whole demeanor was like that. But when the devotees came, somehow or other he would preach. He would preach those for hours and hours on end, for years on end. I remember he used to tell, I am giving gallons of my blood to preach, to teach these things. I'm giving gallons of my blood.
Name was Bhavatarini Didi.
What was this?
Srila Prabhupada's sister. Bhavatarini Didi.
Oh, yeah. So somehow he was in that stage, I felt, feeling very deep separation, feeling very deep humility, and yet preaching at the same time. He felt it was his duty. And he used to tell us about this story. You heard about the mango tree. I was one sitting in the yard. There's this mango tree. There was a fence. And the mangoes, because it was behind a fence into some property, not many people went there. So the mangoes used to fall off the tree on the ground and become spoiled, and nobody would ever taste them. And so the story he told, that there was a story behind that tree, that in the previous life, that mango tree was a Brahmin. And that Brahmin never gave any instruction to anyone. He just remained in his own self-absorbed meditation. And so he took birth in the next lifetime as that mango tree, in which no one tasted the fruits. He gave that example. And so he considered that story before he actually began his preaching mission. And another thing he told, and I also considered, that if you are a doctor, you get so much education, but a doctor doesn't really know if he can cure anybody. You know, doctor, they look at you and the best of their ability, they say, okay, you may be like this, you may have that, and they give some medicine, some treatment, the best they can. But although the doctor knows that he doesn't know everything, and knows that even he may be giving the wrong thing, still he doesn't stop giving his medicine. Because if he doesn't give the medicine, if he doesn't treat the patients, then what is the use of doctors? And doctors have to do something, even though they may kill their patient, even possibly by their treatment. They don't know because they're guessing, using their best ability. But they have to do something, otherwise nobody would be able to get the benefit of it. That's the second thing that he thought. And the third thing he thought, I have come here to Navadvip after begging Nityananda Prabhu to give me his mercy and his permission to come here. If I am begging for Nityananda's mercy, but I am not giving anyone mercy, then what kind of hypocrite am I? So these three things he mentioned, why he was preaching. Because he has taken the mercy of Nityananda, because of the idea of the doctor having to give some kind of treatment to patients based on whatever knowledge they may have, and his mango tree, and the Brahman and the mango tree. You heard these before, Shanta Maharaj? We can't hear you.
No, Maharaj.
You not heard this? Yeah. So this way, humility is there. This feeling of being very humble, insignificant, and yet the duty of an acharya, duty of a preacher is there also. If we don't sell these things that we have learned, then we are misers. Like that Brahmin, he had knowledge and so many.
Brahmana actually was like a tree.
Yeah. He was a miser Brahmin. Then he became a mango tree where nobody would take his mangoes. Like that. So we must do these things, even feeling unqualified, imperfect, whatever, insignificant. So we have some duty.
On the premises of the mutt, wasn't there like a favorite mango tree that Sridhar Maharaj used to love, and then it passed away when he disappeared?
Yes.
So it's like symbolic. He wasn't, he was motivated by the story of the Brahman and the mango tree. And in response, where he was doing his preaching work, a beautiful mango tree was manifest there, sharing its fruit with everybody, literally. And it disappeared with him.
And actually, it disappeared after him,
Ah,
so that it could make room for his samadhi.
Yes.
ah,
Not only that, Maharaj, that also that material of that tree can be used for Srila Maharaj, that door,
I say,
that mango tree.
okay.
Be used for the Samadhi temple also. Srila Maharaj used to keep those trees like loving so much in the dham. He never used to give even the banana trees which are coming from the root. Small tree, the plants are coming up. Somebody wants to take that away, then he used to say, this plant has taking birth here in Navadip Dham. Why you want to take that fortune away from that plant? It should be here. And the trees in that mud, when the constructions was going on, Govinda Maharaj also kept that, not cutting them. And so in the middle of the building, we have trees in the Prasadam hall.
Yes. Yes, I remember Prabhupada also in Juhu Beach, that temple there. In the middle of the courtyard of the temple, there's a tamil tree. And Prabhupada told to build a temple around that tree. Big, beautiful temple in the middle of the courtyard. There's this tamil tree. Because tamil, of course, represents Krishna. But anyhow, this is how one can harmonize this extreme humility and the forwardness of preaching, presumptuousness of preaching. Both are there in the heart of a devotee, possible. Contradictory things can be harmonized within the heart of a devotee. We must not, though, become big preachers and not have that humility. That's a mistake. One mistake is to be too humble and not say anything. The other is to be too outward and not be humble. Both must be there in the heart of a devotee. They are the perfect harmonizing element of both.
Middle platform.
Huh?
Middle platform. Sridhar Maharaj used to say, middle platform is the safest platform.
What is that, medium?
Middle
Oh,
platform.
middle platform.
Abhidaya.
No extreme, huh? Okay. So now we come to the last part. Iti Sri Prapanna Jivanamrita, Sri Bhakti Vachanamrita, Sri Vachanam Pratantargatam, Karpanyam Nama Ashtamo Yaha. This ends the 8th chapter, Surrender and Humility, words of nectar from the devotees in the life nectar of the surrendered souls, positive and progressive immortality. Sri Bhakta Vachanamrita. Bhakta Vachanamrita means the words of the Bhaktas. Next one, Sri Bhagavad Vachanamritam. Bhagavad, of course, is Krishna. So Bhakta Vachanamritam and Bhagavad Vachanamritam. Bhakta Vachanamrita means the words of the devotees, and Bhagavad Vachanamrita means the words of the Supreme Lord. So Srila has made this book in different sections, huh? Sometimes depending the 6 limbs of surrender, with the words of the devotees, with the words of the Supreme Lord, and what was the third one? With the words of the scripture. Sadhu, Hari, and Shastra. He used these 3 divisions of references to describe the 6 limbs of Sharanagati. So this is the
9th chapter.
page, then next page is like 142. Sri Krishnangri Papadam Sri Krishnangri Prapananam Krishna Premaika Kankshika Kankshinam Sarvat Arjun what is that? Sarvat Yagyan Vrit Sarva Pishta Seva Sukha Pradam Prana Sanjeevanam Sakshat Bhagavad Vachanamritam Sri Bhagavata Gitari Sastrak Changvi Hate Tatihi. Herein, collected from the Holy Scriptures headed by Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, are words of nectar directly from the lotus mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the nectar to vanquish all sorrow and darkness for the souls surrendered unto the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, and also for those aspiring for exclusive love for Krishna. It nourishes the lives of the devotees, pleasing their hearts by fulfilling all their cherished desires for devotional service. Español. Por favor.
Aquí se presentan las nectarias palabras que emanan directamente de los labios del loto de la Suprema Personalidad de Dios, recogidas en las escrituras sagradas, encabezadas por el Srimad Bhagavatam y el Bhagavad Gita. Este néctar erradica toda angustia y oscuridad de las almas entregada a los pies del lotos de Sri Krishna, y es también para aquellos que aspiran el amor exclusivo por Krishna. Nutre la vida de los devotos y deleita el corazón, satisfaciendo todos sus preciados anhelos de obtener el servicio con devoción. Sri Narasimha.
This is written by Srila Sridhara Maharaj to introduce this chapter.
Okay.
Then text number 3. Sri Bhagavata Prapada Klesha Haritvam Tvam Prapanosmi Sharanam Deva Devam Janardanam Itiya Sharanam Praptas Tam Kleshad Udaramyaham from Sri Narsingha. Supreme Lord dispels the suffering of his surrendered soul. I deliver from all suffering one who accepts my shelter, saying, O God of gods, O supreme refuge, I am surrendered unto you. Sri Nishinga Purana. Español.
El Señor Supremo disipa el sufrimiento de las almas entregadas a Él. Yo libero de todo sufrimiento a aquel que acepta mi refugio y que dice, oh Dios de dioses, oh refugio supremo, me entrego a ti. Sri Nishinga Purana. Ay.
Yeah. So one only has to say, oh Lord, I am surrendered to you. Please protect me or whatever. And the Lord Nishinga, Lord will take us, will accept us. One moment of surrender.
Bhakti Kiran Giri Maharaj
Huh?
from Bengal Maharaj.
Yes?
He chastised one of my god brother, that is Sripad Prabhu, when he got a nursing kavacha for his protection.
Oh.
He
Yeah.
told him that you are using Nursing Dev for your service or you want to serve Nursing Dev. He tried to tell him that we are servants.
Yeah.
Whether he will save or not is up to him, but we want to only please him. Like that he has told him.
Yet it is one of the limbs of surrender.
Yes.
To accept the Lord as your protector,
Yes.
guardian. So this is talking about surrender. First one has to come to the platform of surrender, then one can serve. This is the initial stage where the devotee is just coming to the platform of surrender. Means they're coming from the land of exploitation. And to enter the gate of Vaikuntha, Sridhara says, Sharanagati is the foundation. Without that Sharanagati, you can't even enter the spiritual world. The foundation of spiritual life. So this is talking about how to get to that from the world of exploitation, how to come to that plane of Sharanagati, to enter through that door that leads to Vaikuntha and the spiritual transcendental world.
Even Mahaprabhu is praying for protection, like that song, Ram Raghava Rakshamam.
Yes. And the only way to get there is if he accepts us. We can't push our way there. We can't storm the doors of the Vaikuntha. I'm coming in. Get ready. Here I come. No. We have to be invited. We have to be accepted. Yes, you may come. My dear Lord, I'm praying for you. I have no other recourse. And of course, okay. We have that saying in English, you know that saying, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. You know that, you ever hear that saying?
No.
And they say, if the squeaky Squeaky, the wheel is making some noise.
Yes.
That's the one that gets the oil.
I think when the bird is coming, mother bird,
Ah,
the chick which is always
yeah.
opening the mouth is getting the feeding.
No, exactly. The one who's crying the most, they will get everything. So the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So unless you're saying, "Dear Lord, please get me. I'm suffering. I can't stand this life anymore." The more intense you are in that plea, then the Lord will hear it. He will have to listen. Okay.
Patita Pavana.
You are too much, complaining too much. I have to take care of you.
Patita Pavana Gora Hari.
So people go to the demigods for some benefit too, right? They're praying like, what's his name? Hiranyakashipu. He was standing in his leg, ants were eating his flesh. And he was telling Lord Brahma, I want to become immortal. He was praying like that, so intense. So much that the demigods were suffocating. Their breath was not coming anymore. It was making such an intense plea that finally Brahma had to say, okay, I'm coming to you. So here it is saying, one who says, O God of gods, O supreme refuge. So here, the recognition is that Krishna is the supreme of all the demigods. That's an important point. You must recognize that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. And by coming to him and asking for his grace is a different thing altogether than the demigods. Generally, those who worship the demigods, they want something in return for their self-interest. But here, devotee is praying for protection, not for their own self-interest merely, but because they can't live on their own. They can't continue their own exploitation life. Not that they want to exploit more and therefore they want the Lord to help them in that exploitation, but they want to take the shelter of the Lord for his, so they can become his own servants, his own possession. Not that they have an independent life anymore. Difference here. Maharaj, you want to add anything?
It is actually the surrender, Saranagati, the minimum or basic requirement that the devotion to begin. And Mahaprabhu came to teach that when he has explained the surrender in Gita, but the detailed scientific explanation he given in the form of Mahaprabhu.
As he told Arjuna in the Gita, Krishna told Arjuna in the Gita, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. So he's giving him protection. Krishna said, I'll give you protection. I'll take away any karma, any reaction that may come from your giving up your worldly duties. the last 18th chapter. When he said, Sarvadharman Parityajya. Now, don't worry, I'll take care of you. Oh.
Somewhere I read, Maharaja, I forgot now. Surrender may be coming from Krishna's, effulgence, or something like that. Or Radharani's, that I think heart is coming, that faith.
Faith is coming from the halo. Radharani's halo is the faith.
Faith. Somewhere surrender also been explained. I forgot now where it comes.
Radharani is in a different level. She is the Ladini Shakti. That her heart, the Kunti and what is that?
Bhava and Kanti.
Huh?
Baba and
Bhava and Kanti, yes. The Bhava is the taste of devotional service, and the Kanti is the faith in the devotional service of the Lord. So she is in the upper platform. These are, like I said, referring to those coming from the mundane plane, the expectation plane, and they are wanting to get no longer interested in that, no longer interested in living an independent life, and want to be completely surrendered to the Lord. However one comes to that platform of surrender, that may be in different ways. But surrender is the first part. So Rupa Goswami also told the dos Shraddha, faith, and then Sadhu-Sanga. That Sadhu-Sanga, it doesn't just mean, coming and sitting next to some devotee or taking prasad or whatever. Sadhu-Sanga, when we want to associate with devotees, that is always through humble service. That is association. We'll come to the presence of someone who is more developed spiritually than ourselves. And through that process that Krishna gave, Tadvidi Pranipatena, Pariprasthena, and Seva. Humbly approaching, inquiring, and seeking, and serving. That is Sadhu-Sanga. And then from that Sadhu-Sanga, from that humble approach, humble connection with the devotee, we can begin some bhajana kriya activities, worshipful activities. Not just karmic activities, but activities of bhajana kriya. Bhajana means worshipful activities that are going towards something higher than ourselves, for purposes higher than our own interests, self-interest. Bhajana kriya. And it's that process that leads to anartha nivritti, uprooting the mundane desires within our hearts, lust, anger, greed, all those things. And when all of that is removed, then nishtha, then we become fixed. Brahmanishtam. That qualification of guru is explained as Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. Shrotriyam means who has heard from guru under those proper circumstances, and Nishtam, who is fixed, becomes fixed in Brahman, fixed in the spiritual, transcendental conception of devotion and service. And then the real attachment for that higher plane begins. ruchi, taste, and so forth. Any other comment, Maharaj? What?
Oh, Maharaj. Actually, that song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Sikhaya Saranagati Bhakatero Pran. That Mahaprabhu came to teach the Saranagati, and that Saranagati is the life of the devotees.
Mm.
And here, Srila Guru Maharaj written life nectar of surrender souls.
Oh, Amiya, you are there.
Amazing.
Dhanyavad, Prabhu. Amiya
Amiya
Sindhu.
Sindhu.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
He has one question.
Dhanyavad Maharaj. Dhanyavad Maharaj. Sorry, I have laryngitis. My voice is broken. Oh. Okay. Dhanyavad Maharaj. Dhanyavad Kanapriyu. Dhanyavad Uma Devi. Dhanyavad Krishna Kashiva. Dhanyavad most of all. Maharaj. Puri. Maharaj. I apologize for my voice at the moment, but I have been in hospital for quite a while. Oh. And I have had a lot of different medications and so on, and some of them affected me in many very different ways. And I apologize if ever I have caused any offense to any of the devotees due to the as the expert, because as they used to say, I'm an ongoing project. Okay. Medication. And so on. Maharaj, may I please ask you, Maharaj, Dhanyavad, Shanta Maharaj, it's so wonderful to see you. Oh, how wonderful to see you, Shanta Maharaj. Oh, Dhanyavad. How are you, Maharaj?
Yes, Prabhu, we are doing well by devotees grace like you.
Well, you see, life has its just different things, and we live through our karma and so on. But please, Maharaj Puri, whilst I have just a second to ask you about maybe one particular question, is it possible that I may ask you a question, please? Is it about what we're discussing? I beg your pardon? Is it about what we are discussing? Yes, Maharaj. Okay. And it's about the business that we are talking about with the demigods and so on, and this business of how should I say? Oh well, I mean, one knows in Europe that one can go into a shop and see a Ganesh altar and maybe other deities and so on, and this is a remover of all obstacles and so on. Maharaj, may I ask you, please, with regard to what was happening in the Narayana Kavaka shield? And this is where it describes Indra and Indra's personality and the demigod stuff and the shield that Vishnu and so on, you know, like after finishing his dedication, one must offer a prayer to the eight-armed Lord Vishnu who sits on the shoulders of Guruvada. One must have to think of the fish incarnate and so on and so forth. But I am wondering about this particular, to take the protection of this shield and so on, and the various, how should I say, ceremonial things. But all of this being, when I'm reading through Srimad Bhagavatam, Maharaj, is it better that I understand things
that this is superficial to the fact that I have connection to Guru. And so, in other words, demigod worship and so on, how should I say, is very ancillary to dedication to Vaishnava, and through finding finite through infinite through Guru and Mahamantra. And by dedication to Guru and trying to serve, that everything else is superficial, in a sense.
Yeah, if one has the consciousness, still has the consciousness of serving the demigods, then his consciousness is not yet perfect. When we become purified, then we understand that there is one Supreme Lord. And everything else is the delegated powers. They're all his delegated powers. But that requires to have that higher realization. Demigod understanding is a lower realization because you have many gods, but you don't understand the unity, the whole, the organic whole at that level. So until one comes to understand the center, that there is a center, there is an organic whole, and he has a center, he has this unique personality, supreme personality, then we're still in a materially conditioned consciousness. And in that stage of consciousness, then we have many still remaining. That means we still have some self-interest, different interests that we want to satisfy. One who comes to the realization of the Supreme Personality of God, that he has no other interest, and he can only come to that realization when all his other interests and other things have been eradicated. And he can understand that there's one Supreme Person and that he is the servant of that. And everything is to serve him. So he gives up. He recognizes that the worship of the demigods is not significant, because there's one person who is giving permission and cause, energy, whatever it may be, is coming from that one person, the Supreme Person. And he knows that he must direct all of his energy and attention there. In there's the higher stage of awareness. There's the difference. So Krishna always told, Takita, Sarva Dharmam Parita. It means all other duties to any demigods, your forefathers, whoever it may be, that is to be given up in parityaja, means to be given that all up and just come to me. Mam ekam sarvaraja. And he told that even as a small boy, when he lifted the hill, Govardhan Hill, he told the residents of Vrindavan, don't worry about worship of the demigods. You just worship me, and I will protect you from everything. All benefit will come to you by that process. Okay. Then, let's see. I'll read one more verse. The text number 4 on page 143. Dasya sakrid eva papanaya sadabhaya tatripam sakrid eva papanoyas tavasmati chayatshate abhayam sarvada tasmai Damyitarvatam mama. This is from the Ramayana. If one seeks refuge in him just once, it awards fearlessness to that person forever. And it is my pledge that if anyone just once sincerely petitions me for shelter, saying, I am yours, then I grant him courage for all time to come. This is spoken in the Ramayana by Lord Ram. Español.
Si alguien busca refugio en él, aunque solo sea una vez, él lo liberará para siempre del temor. Mi promesa es que si alguien se acerca sinceramente buscando refugio en mí, aunque solo sea una vez y dice, yo soy tuyo, entonces yo lo libro para siempre del temor. Sri Ramayana. Ay.
Yes. And very important, this point that is being made is very important, because what it's saying is if you can get, by preaching, if you can get a person, even for 1 minute, even for 1 second, to think about surrender, then Krishna will remember him for all time. So by preaching about surrender, if we can convince a person, even for the moment that we are speaking with them, that yes, this is a very nice thing. I wish I could do this. And then you have made a victory. Eventually, like Sridhara used to say, once Krishna has landed in your heart, one little place he has landed in your heart, then he will take the whole thing. He will conquer everything. Maharaj, do you have anything you want to say?
This verse, Maharaj, I'm thinking about Mahaprabhu's prayer, Ram Raghava Raksamam. So he's thinking, he went to this Udanda Rama temple in Tirupati, where Ramchandra had this beautiful bow and arrow, and he did, hit them there. We visited there a few years back before Corona with Acharya Maharaj. We arranged the trip to South India.
Anyone else like to say something? Any questions, comments, criticism? Affectionate criticism. Sridhara said criticism is okay if it's affectionate. That's love.
And Maharaj, may I ask one question, please? One last quick question. And it's to do, may I ask a question, please, Maharaj?
Yes.
Maharaj, I have various daily Shiva. And Maharaj, I would like to know where I may research how I may, how should I say, offer due respect for this particular, so that it is appropriately, how should I say, amalgamated into the room, which is my temple room. So how do I, apart from Panchatattva, which is my altar and so on, then where should Shiva be?
Well, at the Chaitanya Saraswati Mutt, the Mool Mutt, they have Gangadhar Shiva off in the side near the guest house. They don't put him near the deities. He's not worshipped on the altar with the deities, but he has his own temple.
Yeah.
And they worship there every day. They worship him in their, with the appropriate beings. Maharaj, Santa Maharaj, you know more about that than I do. Want to
So
explain?
Sasu Thakur has also done that, Maharaj.
Yes.
Even in Yoga Pit, there is,
Yes.
Shivji Maharaj temple is there, which is worshipped by Jagannath Mishra. So I think Shiva, we worship him like Advaita Acharya. And he's also there in Navadip, Shiva and Parvati. They are there, Budoship and Kodama.
Govinda Maharaj made many oblations and so on, and in Navadip as well, with regard to the Vishnu temples. Shanta Maharaj, am I not correct?
Yeah, actually, Shivji has, very high position in our line, Gaudiya line, because he's Advaita Acharya. And by Advaita Acharya's mercy, we can get the mercy of Nityananda and Maharaja. Daya karo Sitapati Advaita Gosai, Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nita. So by the mercy of Advaita Acharya, we can get the mercy of Nityananda and Mahaprabhu.
There's also the Rudra Sampradaya.
Yes.
One of the Vaishnava Sampradayas, Rudra Sampradaya.
Shiva came to Navadip to listen Bhagavatam. Sitting on the swan that Brahma uses, Hansabahan, listening Bhagavatam from the sages, Saptarushi, 7 sages.
One purport, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada said the proper way to worship Shiva is as he's worshipped in the Brahma Samhita. It says Chiram tata tari vikara vishesha yoga sanjayatena tata. Like the yogurt, milk becomes yogurt in a relation like that. But he's saying it's proper because he's being worshipped with his relationship to Govinda. So as long as he's being worshipped in that way, then it's proper.
Maharaj, in Lingaraj, they worship Shiva with Vishnu Prasad. Now they stop. First they offer the bhoga to Ananta Vasudev, which Lord Krishna and Balaram. Then that prasad goes to Lord Shiva.
Okay.
When Lord Shiva drinks the poison, demigods worship him with the Krishna Prasad, Abhishek.
Okay.
And but the demons did opposite with the intoxication, the wine and other things. So he has dark side and bright side, both the side.
Okay. So yes, you inquire from Santa Maharaj if you need more details about how they perform that ceremony in the Dham, at the yoga, at the Moonlight. Okay. My humble dandavat, Ansakalpa Tarubhyasa, Kripa Sindhuvevacha, Patitanam Bhavadevyo, Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. Jai O Vishnupad, Padamahamsa Paribraja Kacharya, Astatata Santa Shri Sripad, Bhakti Niskam Santa Maharaja Ki Jai. Here the Govardhan Ki Jai, the Shingapali Ki Jai, the Samaveda Bhakti Vindi Ki Jai. Jai Go Premanandi.
Jai. Maharaj.
Yes.
Sorry, little comment, please.
Oh, yes.
Little.
Poco. Cosito.
Pequeña. Pequeña.
Okay. Prabhu Keshava, what's up? In English.
I have read from our guardians that, for example, if we feed the stomach, the whole body is satisfied. It is not possible to feed a finger or an eye. If the center is satisfied, the whole body is satisfied. Just like a tree that has many leaves and fruits, if we water its root, then the whole tree is nourished. Therefore, if we approach and serve the center, Sri Krishna, through his agents, then our life will be perfect. We don't need anything else.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Dhanyavad.
Dayananda is making some comments.
Yes, yes.
Nice.
And commentary. Yes,
Responding to
ultimately,
devotees.
that's true. We don't have to worship Lord Shiva or anyone else. If we worship Krishna, everything is accomplished. But no harm also. My Dhanyavad. Haribo!
Very good.